Friday morning. Right now we are in Wendover, Utah, and back behind me you can see a bunch of really awesome rigs. I'm out with my friends from Expedition Utah. We're doing the annual Freeze Your Tail Off run where we go to the sun tunnels and enjoy a nice winter camp night. We've got a day run today, we're gonna camp tonight, and then a day run tomorrow. I'm not leading this trip, so I'm just gonna try to catch, you know, footage as I'm going, a little bit here and there, but it should be a ton of fun. Check out some of these awesome vehicles. After quick intros and a driver's meeting, we were aired down and headed out on some dirt trails. It didn't take long before we ran into our first obstacle. We've got ourselves a little bit of an obstacle here. We've got a Sprinter van, and this is a steep hill. There's a little bit of a ledge. Looks like they're struggling a little bit with traction, so we'll see. No video does any trail justice when it comes to steepness. After a few attempts, we carefully backed the Sprinter up a few feet so that we could get two other rigs past it around for the assist. The 4x4 Sprinter has a driver assist or nanny state system that limits how much power it will push to the wheels if the vehicle is off camber or on steep inclines. This hill had both. A little tug from the two vehicles daisy chained together was all it needed to get it moving up and over the ledge. So one of the things that I love about group trips like this, I don't do very many of them, but every time I do, I meet people that I just, you know, really like and want to spend more time with. Brent was one of those a few years ago when he came on a trip, and he and I have gone on several awesome adventures together. And, you know, I've met a few people today already that I'm like, hey, these are people I want to go out. We just share a lot of the same passions and want to explore with our families. Just love that about this type of a thing. Nevada is so interesting. You've got just so many of these small towns. I always wonder like what some of the people that live, you know, this has to be population like 30. Do for a living, things like that. No tiebreakers. See, that's why they call it Window Rock, huh? That's pretty cool. I love seeing each person's setup, which is as cool and unique as they are. One thing that's tough to know is just how hard these passes are going to be. It's mid-December, there's not tons of snow, in fact there's just a skiff, but it's really slick and steep, so they're kind of scouting out up ahead right now to see if it's something that we feel like everyone can tackle safely. May have to turn around and do a bunch more backtracking, we will see, but it's one of those things that you never know. The previous pass that we went, we made it all the way to the top, but the downside was crazy steep and slick, and with the Sprinter, and really any of us, but particularly the Sprinter, I'm worried that we would have a hard time keeping it under control going down that with how steep that is. So right now we're just chilling, seeing what we can do. I think they're doing a little bit of scouting, checking out the full trail to see if it's something that we can tackle. Oh man, this climb up is so cool. Just climbing up this mountain, nice, fairly narrow road, and nice snowpack in the shaded areas. Just really, really cool.
Amazing what a little sunshine does, because Patterson Pass was clear all the way up to 7,000 feet. Here we're 6,100 and running into snow, probably because it just doesn't get that much sunlight.
Oh man, that view is good. Just came up over the peak. Gonna work our way down the trail here. Dang, that is beautiful. You will correct once you get on this side. Just after making it down the mountain and as dark started to close in, we pulled into camp. Many participants decorated their rigs for Christmas, and some incredible prizes were given out to the best setups. My favorite part of the evening was getting to know each of the group better and listen as they shared their stories from their impressive overland adventures. Saturday morning, we are back on the trail. Most of the group is still with us. A few people had to jet out and head home, but we're going to be doing some trail miles today. I think Dave said we're doing around 120 or so, which is a little bit more than we did yesterday, but also looks to be quite a bit faster paced than what we did yesterday. So now just kind of making our way through this, upper desert, really beautiful. Check this out. We left the sun tunnels around 9:30 this morning, and we're kind of heading north towards the Idaho border. I don't know if we'll make it all the way to there, or we'll start cutting east back around the north part of the Great Salt Lake. But heading into the mountains, I'm assuming we're going to make our way up over this pass somewhere. So It doesn't look like there's going to be any snow like we had yesterday. Still pretty cool. A few miles into the trail, we ran across a fairly well-preserved miner's cabin. A primary building along with an outhouse and a root cellar were all well intact. A close second to my love for incredible views are the buildings, remnants, and history of Native Americans and the early settlers of the West. On trips like this, I'm often listening to biographies or other novels focused on exploring the West and all of its adventures. If you have any suggestions, I'm always looking for recommendations. We just finished up our stop at this really cool old miner's cabin. Always amazing to me when you run across stuff like that. It's, you know, really well preserved, and just cool. I love the history, you know, kind of just imagining and thinking about what life would have been like trying to come up here and, you know, kind of cut it out as a miner. But what's really amazing is how much the terrain changes. Just a few miles down the road, we were really just in, you know, complete desert, and now up in this mountain range, beautiful, really, really lush, and starting to see a little bit of snow, which is cool too. Just incredible, the diversity of the terrain here. Oh man, look at how cool these rocks are. Incredible rock formation. So beautiful. This little canyon, this pass is incredible. Have these three big rocks, beautiful rock formation over here. Man, so beautiful. I definitely am coming back here. I can have time to get the drone up and fly all around it and stuff because this is just too cool. just leaving Zakistan, and I guess the story is that like in the early to mid 90s, he saw an advertisement for some land for really cheap out in the desert in Utah. An artist decided to buy it and wanted to come and put an art installation, came in and kind of put some different things, calling it Zakistan as its own sovereign country. And some of the people in Expedition Utah have met him and have a good rapport with him, but apparently, from what I understand, his land actually is not this land. It is different, and I don't know if there was a mix-up on the coordinates or what, but I just think that makes the story even better. There's nothing out here. This is just a bunch of, you know, desert track. This has been so much fun. The Expedition Utah group is just full of excellent people. Love exploring in Utah. Love this area. It's just a great group of people to be a part of. So right here we are on top of the railroad grade, which is pretty cool. You can see it's totally built up above the ground on each side, nice and smooth and level. Anytime there's a little spot where there's, you know, higher elevation, it cuts in, and lower elevation, it's built up. You go up on top of it. There's a few places in Utah where you drive on the railroad grade like this, and it's pretty cool. So right now we're passing Element 11, which is apparently Utah's version of Burning Man. Bunch of different facilities here. You have to look it up when I get home. Very interesting. Well, right now we are in Kelton, which is a ghost town. Looks like the last people lived here in the late 30s, but it was a railroad town and eventually got bypassed by the Aleutian cutoff. But they have a cemetery here, and it looks like I see some different remnants and things like that from over time, but definitely a cool stop to check out. Learn a little bit about the history. They had an entire town of up to 200 people that lived here at one point in time, so definitely had a pretty good heyday. Nothing now, but cool little cemetery. Check this thing out. Well, obviously a little bit of a somber end to a really fun trip. Of course, the most important thing is that everyone is okay. He just lost control, got kind of stuck in the soft shoulder. It took him off into the side and had enough speed that just ended up flipping him over, rolled a couple times. Everyone's okay, mostly just in shock and banged up, but that kind of stuff's scary, happens. But you know, all that really matters is everyone's okay and that they're going to be fine. So anyways, that's the conclusion of the 2023 Freeze Your Tail Off event. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.